Do people have anything to do with it? Of course they do. It would be the greatest coincidence in the history of the world if this change just happened to begin at the same time as the Industrial Revolution. We're now here. I don't see how anyone can look at this chart and conclude anything else. A, something's happening to CO2 in the atmosphere. B, people are involved in causing it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled that Senator King has gotten down there in D.C. and already taken a leadership role around the issue of climate change.
I applaud Senator King for taking a stand and standing up.
He clearly understands the issue. He has an appropriate sense of urgency. He wants to get moving.
I just give him a lot of credit for stepping to the plate.
These are impacts. This isn't academic. This is impacts. It's billions of dollars of expenditures to try to fight this off and to hold it at bay.
Yeah, when I first started lobstering in 1987 or 88 with my uncle, since then we've already seen changes. So a good example is Harpswell, right? Harpswell is a bunch of mud, but it's a little peninsula, shallower water. There's a buy place I have there that I buy from in Lookout Point. 6 years ago, that used to be in the months of June and July. That was one of my biggest buying stations that I buy from right when they come out. It's now my least productive buying station in the state. And a lot what I'm putting together that I see is that the water's too warm. It was almost 70 degrees there last summer. There was no lobsters in that bay.
Climate change will be the defining environmental factor, probably the defining economic factor of the 21st century. And that's especially true for Maine. Since early 1900s, Maine is the 5th most rapidly warming state in the nation.
The impacts that I'm most fearful of, climate change impacts for the state of Maine, are sea level rise and the ability of our marshes to migrate as quickly as the sea is rising.
The local people around me are very, very concerned about ocean acidification. And what is that going to do to the shellfish?
We'll see a lot of changes. The ski industry is likely to be hit hard as we have less and less snow and the season gets shorter. So there are economic consequences and there are environmental consequences, and they're all worth worrying about.
We've got to stop burning so much stuff. And that's what's putting carbon in the atmosphere, whether it's in our automobiles, our homes, our factories, our power plants. It's burning fossil fuel that's putting CO2 into the atmosphere. The president has proposed a carbon agenda that I think is an important first step.
Well, I think it's absolutely critical that we start looking at the emissions that are coming out of our power plants. Our power plants are responsible for 40% of the carbon dioxide emissions here in our country.
Carbon rules for power plants is a terrific idea that will actually be the first step in what could be a much more substantial approach to climate change. So I'm actually very excited about it and think it's incredibly important.
We have to do something. We have to do something.
I want my senators to take decisive action in combating climate change with strong federal legislation.